This week's parsha is Parshat Vayigash, and I'm basing this Torah on a shiur I heard from Rav Bernstein. And before we get into it, it is important to kind of set the context that this has been a very tense week for anyone who's unfamiliar with this story, because the end of last week's parsha, we had the Yosef's goblet was found in Binyamin's sack, and all the brothers come back and they're effectively offering themselves as servants to Yosef to kind of help the situation. And that's where we are, and we don't really know what's happening at that point, because that's when the parsha ends. Now, the Al-Sheikh asks an important question, because the first three words of this parsha is Vayigash alav Yehuda, right? Yehuda approaches Yosef, and there's a bit of an aggressive undertone to this word Vayigash. So he wants to know, we need to try to understand Yehuda. What's motivating him? Why does he change direction? What is this? And the reason we're asking is because if we were to just see last week's parsha, literally the last two psukim, Vayomer Yehuda, man omer ladoni, etc. Hinenu avadim ladoni. We're servants for you. The brothers were prepared to serve Yosef as his servants, if not slaves. And then we see that Yosef has Rahmanut on them, and he says, no, you can all go home. Binyamin will stay with me. And then at that point, Yehuda completely changes direction. And at the very least, he pleads with him, perhaps even remonstrates with him. And the deeper we go into Chazal, we see that Yehuda is even threatening Yosef. Things have really taken a very sharp turn, and we want to understand why. What has changed for Yehuda to have a complete reversal in his reaction to Yosef? So the Al-Sheikh explains that what happened at the end of last week's parsha really changed everything. And now the reason why that is because we have to kind of try to put ourselves into the brother situation, even though it's difficult. Because we know that the Egyptian leader is Yosef. Fine. But they don't know. They don't know that. But now we need to ask, why did they ever guess or maybe think that it was Yosef? After all, they know that they sold Yosef, and they know that they sold him towards Egypt. They know that something strange is happening, and they never really seem to go in that direction. It just completely eludes them. Maybe it might be Yosef, but they never think that. Why not? Truth is, the answer is actually in the psukim. If we're to go back again to Parsha Miketz, chapter 42, verse 21, what they think this is clear. Vayomru ish el achi, the brothers say one to another, aval Hashem anachnu alachinu, right? In truth, we're guilty over what we did to our brothers. Asher ra'inu tzarat nafshav yitchananu elenu, velo shamanu, right? We saw his heartfelt anguish when he pleaded with us, and we paid no heed, right? Al ken ba'elenu atzarazot. That is why this anguish has come upon us. So what seems to be happening is the brothers are making a cheshbon nefesh. They are not looking at this Egyptian leader in any real way. As far as they're concerned, this person is just a puppet in God's hands. They see this whole situation, all the troubles that are coming their way, as a punishment for them having sold Yosef. This is effectively a mida keneged mida. They caused trouble for Yosef, and therefore they're having trouble caused to them. And that's it. It's really a punishment. And so if you were to ask the brothers, why are you so much trouble in Egypt? It is clear to them, this is mina shamayim, for selling Yosef. And this, by the way, keeps going straight to the end. If we see the very end of last week's parsha, right, Parsha Miketz, what does it say? Vayomer Yehuda, man omer ladoni, what can we say to our master, to Yosef? Man edaber uman istadak, haElohim matzat avon avadecha. God has found the sin of your servants. Now that's a bit of a chutzpah thing to say to Yosef, because as far as Yosef, the Egyptian leader, is concerned, the Egyptian leader is the one who found the iniquity, the sin in the brothers. It was Yosef who found the goblet in Binyamin's sack. So what's Yehuda now saying? No, actually, this is all about God, Yosef. You're probably just not, or whatever, Egyptian leader, tzofna panech. You're just not in the loop here. And moreover, we'll also pronounce our punishment. So not only are they saying, look, this is what we did wrong, and here's the person who uncovered it, but here's how we'll actually pay for it. Now, the reason why this is so interesting is because there's only one person from this theory does not check out, and that is Binyamin. Because Binyamin is also in trouble here. However, he was not involved in the sale of Yosef. And you can actually see this from the wording of Yehuda when he's talking to Yosef. It says, Hinenu avadim ladoni, gam anachnu, gam asher nimtza gavia biyado. Right? Here we are ready to be slaves to my Lord, both and the one in whose hand the goblet was found. And that's very strange, because it seems like the ikar, the the main parties are the brothers, and also Binyamin. But it should be the exact opposite. After all, Binyamin is the one who stole the goblet, right? So it should be, right? Look, we know he's going to be a slave. He's the one who stole it, and we'll also be with him. But that's not the way it is. It's like Binyamin is just he's like a collateral. He's almost like a side point, a bonus, if you will. So really, through these psukim, we see that the brothers and Yehuda have it all worked out. All this trouble in Egypt, this whole Sofna Paneach, Egyptian leader guy, this is all just as retribution for Yosef, and Binyamin just kind of got swept into the mess. This all comes crashing down when Yosef says, Vayomer Chalila li ma'asotzot. It would be sacrilegious for me to do this. Ha'isha asher nimtza gavia biyado, hu yihi eli aved, vatem alu l'shalom el avichem. The man in whose possession the goblet is found, only he shall be my slave, and as for you, go in peace to your father. Now, this completely crashes their entire model for understanding this situation. Because this is impossible. This is not the way it's supposed to go. Now, once that's true, Yehuda changes tactics completely. Because for the first time, he is now looking at this Egyptian leader, and he's like, hang on a second. So the brothers who sold Yosef, were free to go, but Binyamin, who had nothing to do with the sale, he's going to be our slave. Now, Vayigash alav Yehuda, and he starts to speak to the Egyptian leader as an entity unto himself. And he's trying to extricate Binyamin from this disastrous situation. We'll end it there, and Shabbat Shalom.